It's not like men have been wrong before. I mean, for years, men have thought that they were smarter than women.
Women in universities in the UK do better than men in nearly every area of performance. That's according to new research.
For years, men have thought that women should not work.
And that was 2009 when women became more than 50% of the workforce.
And for years, men have thought that women couldn't lead.
And last year, for the first time, women became 54% of all American managers.
For years, men have thought that women could not fight.
The Senate just voted on a bill that would have women be eligible to be drafted into the U.S. military for the first time in American history.
And can you imagine that for years, men have thought that women had a lower sex drive?
Women in the past were sexually very different than women of today.
Like now there's a cable channel that just shows porn for women.
The female orgasm can be 10 times more powerful than the male orgasm.
Women had a wider range of arousal than men.
I think sexuality is more part of a woman's identity.
If women were raised to think of themselves as sexual creatures, you would probably see a very different world.
Females outnumber males on this planet, so there is not somebody for everybody. That's what I mean. We understand what it should be, but the numbers say no.
It was a milestone that received little attention but could have big implications. For only the second time, women outnumber men in the U.S. workforce. In fact, women now represent 50% of the entire population of people who are employed. But what is driving this trend?
As far as the ratio between guys and girls goes, there's always way more girls than guys.
In all of my classes, there's probably about 2 guys.
1 attractive male to every 10 attractive females.
It's not just a statistic. When you walk around, like, you notice.
And therefore, they all get a lot of women.
Guys have an advantage at BU. With the 60-40 percentage we got going on, I'd say that's definitely working in our favor.
We're outnumbered.
It's great for us.
The odds are with us.
60-40 is not too bad.
You definitely see it on campus. It's all women everywhere.
Okay, according to new data from the Labor Department, women are overtaking men on American payrolls. Last month, women held just over 50% of jobs.
The following is my opinion, based solely upon my own experience with observable reality and what statistics and facts I've been able to put together to reason the societal norms as they are. I believe what we're witnessing is an evolutionary hypothesis literally coming to life. It proposes that organisms must constantly adapt. They must constantly evolve and not proliferate merely to gain a reproductive advantage, but also it's key to the organism's survival, because the organism is pitted against an ever opposing organism, and also dealing with an ever-changing and volatile environment that is at varying degrees unpredictable. And through this evolutionary relationship, sexual dominance is established, where essentially the woman asserts sexual dominance over not only her counterpart, the man, but literally all. And any who enter into this species, this lineup, fall into a categorized hierarchy. This is what's known as the Red Queen. I'll give you an example. In today's society, men have proven that they are willing to go to great lengths to essentially get vagina, to get a woman. They're willing to travel. They're willing to invest. They're willing to divulge certain secrets. And they're willing to basically put themselves at knife's end simply for a woman's approval and the potential, not guaranteed, of her vagina. They call this simp culture. And what gave rise to this is this particular effect being completely established throughout the minds of men. In other words, more and more money is needed in a man's life to maintain his relative position in whatever industry. And this is what's known as staying ahead of the game. Okay? The situation plays out over and over again, and it brings in, many ripple effects. For example, a company that's distracted by maintaining a relative position in a poor industry more often than not will place its finances in diverse locations, hoping to turn a profit. This is the same thing when a man not only has a main job, but a side hustle. And it's not only to maintain a specific lifestyle, but essentially to attract and maintain the constant access to a woman's vagina. So what women have done is they have placated to their strengths, and they have adapted society to believe and perpetuate this notion that women are not only scarce and delicate flowers, but they must be protected and that they must be sought after constantly. And having one means that you have something rare, something of a value that other men covet and that you as a man would want to protect. This, of course, is completely false. And in order to maintain this adaptation, women themselves have evolved to completely and totally outnumber men. And in so doing, they secure their political supremacy over men, which means they have a hierarchical rule over men's thoughts, over the laws that are passed, over pop culture, over societal norms. And in this evolution of women, they have managed to maintain a constant collusion with one another to maintain the perception that women are few in number. With the full exertion and power of the Red Queen effect being used, women have maintained reproductive supremacy. And in so doing, they have been able to literally curb the male population in society. There are literally fewer men due to the fact that it's now popular to subjugate, incarcerate, denigrate, disrespect, and literally kill men and all male babies. Men are seen as a worker class, and part of the reproduction dominance is maintaining a hold on those who can potentially be protectors and maintenance workers of the servant class. The breakdown of society has begun in the very visible manners in which you can see in daily life, due to the fact that women essentially have cut off their own arm with the reproduction of men. In order to not lose control, but maintain social and societal supremacy. Because it's only through maintaining those two systems that you can effectively downsize the population of men and replace that population with an automated system. In today's society, Nothing that you see is coincidence. There are no accidents. There are pushbacks. But the implementation of all these systems of control, everything you've seen up until this point, the feminism, the Marxism, the socialism, it's all been contributing factors, all been pinwheels on an ever-changing gear that is constantly being shifted. And it's being shifted to the detriment of society, and most importantly, the detriment of men, as we are few in number.
Let's look in the black community.
Mm-hmm.
If every of age marriageable black man married every of age marriageable black woman, there would still be 2 million black women left.